Witnesses described the event as uncomfortable.
Yes, a little disappointment.
According to Vladimir R., chairman of the local trunk committee,
Okay.
All right, let's go.
This is my first run since finishing my fibrosis treatment. Let's call it a test run. I want to find out what shape my lungs are really in. If I can run 1 kilometer today, or something close to that, then things probably aren't too bad. But after only about 300 meters, I can already feel that my body wants more oxygen than my lungs can currently provide. That's okay. My body needs time to adapt, because this is the new reality now. The goal is simple. Work with what you've got and slowly become better anyway. I did run a little during my fibrosis treatment as well. But at one point, the doctors told me to stop. They said my body had more important things to focus on, and hard exercise would only take energy away from the recovery process. Of course, I still trained a little in secret, mostly cycling. It was easier on my lungs and it didn't leave me completely exhausted. 520 meters. And that's where I had to stop. My lungs simply can't deliver as much oxygen as my body wants right now. A pause. Yes, a little disappointment, but not the end of the test. This isn't exactly new territory for me. Unfortunately, this is just how my body works at the moment. The lungs set the limits, the rest of the body argues about them. That's exactly why I train. Not to prove something, not to break records, but to send a message to my body. Adapt and improve. One step at a time. But fortunately, I now have my doctor's approval to continue my training, and I'm going to make the most of it. I'm putting these lungs back to work. It will take time, and it will take persistence. But when the choice is between lungs that don't work and getting back to something close to normal health, that's not even a choice. The show must go on.
ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Our top story tonight comes from a small village in Estonia, where residents have reported deeply disturbing and highly unusual behavior from one of their local inhabitants. According to Vladimir R., chairman of the local trunk committee, also known as the LDC, a middle-aged man was recently observed running through the village completely voluntarily. The incident reportedly took place in broad daylight. Witnesses described the event as uncomfortable, confusing, and completely unnecessary. One LDC member, who at the time was conducting advanced push-based research, was reportedly awakened by the sight of a man moving at what experts later classified as a concerning level of motivation. The man's decision to engage in voluntary cardio appears even more unusual, as he is known locally as an arrhythmia and fibrosis patient. According to Vladimir R., the man had previously shown no signs of intentional exercise. The man himself has offered no explanation for his actions. Medical experts, conducted by Almost Not Fake News, confirmed that running remains one of the leading causes of running. Recent events have left the local community highly anxious. In response, an emergency meeting of the local trunk committee was called earlier this week. No definitive resolution were passed during the meeting, partly because 79% of the attendees were physically unable to stand up. Several members also fell asleep before discussion could begin. After nearly 4 hours of intensive deliberation, the committee agreed on an immediate crisis management strategy. The official recommendation is to consume significantly more alcohol and attempt to completely forget the incident ever happened. Authorities continue to monitor the situation, although no one is entirely sure what the situation actually is. Residents are advised to remain calm, avoid unnecessary cardio, and report any further signs of fitness to local officials immediately.
To be completely honest, I take my recovery very seriously. So seriously, in fact, that I do 3 different types of cardio. Cycling has been my main focus so far, but recently I bought a rowing machine, and now I'm adding running back into the mix as well. Why 3 different types of cardio? Because each one is completely different, and each contributes to my health in its own way. I can comfortably ride my bike for 30 kilometers. Of course, it depends on the terrain. If it's all uphill, that's a different story. But on reasonable terrain, 30 kilometers is no problem. Running and rowing are the activities that really challenge me. Running demands the most from my lungs. My lungs are the limiting factor, and ultimately, they decide how far I can go. Rowing is different. It's a full body workout. Everything is working at the same time, which means the demand for oxygen is much higher. So rowing requires a serious effort from both my body and my lungs. During spring, summer, and autumn, running will probably become my main form of cardio. I simply enjoy running. In winter, though, I probably won't run much. The local climate just doesn't cooperate. But over the next 4 months, I want to get to a point where my lungs can handle a full 5-kilometer run. Maybe that's too ambitious. Then again, knowing myself, even if I don't quite make it to 5 kilometers, I'm pretty sure I can manage 4.9. Wish me luck.